The wait was finally over. The Cheltenham Festival, the 2023, was getting underway on Tuesday, and they came in their tens of thousands to witness history taking place. 4 Grade 1s on day one, Champion Day, the Unibet Champion Hurdle Challenge Trophy, the feature over 2 miles and 87 yards at 3:30. Plenty to look forward to across the week, but not least day one, which was to be run on soft going. Difficult conditions in the lead up to it, but soft all over for the first day. The tension was palpable as they lined up for the Sky Bet Supreme Novices Hurdle, a Grade 1 over 2 miles 87 yards. Could this be Facile Vega's time to shine? 9-4 to do it. Calling them home, Stuart Machin.
They're off. The Sky Bet Supreme Novices Hurdle gets the festival underway, and Rare Edition in the purple and white silks leads them on the short run to the opening flight, which they've all handled neatly enough, and rank outsider Palace Boy in the blue and yellow is the early back marker, and Marine Nationale settling towards midfield in a yellow jacket just had to be checked back off heels as they make the extended run between the opening 2 flights. And High Definition, purple and white striped sleeves, has now moved through to take over. To Rare Definition, Chasing Fire is just in behind the leaders in the shades of blue, and Dark Raven, the double green, tracking them. Strong leader in a pink cap, a couple lengths off them. Tarmuris in the Noel Feely Racing Syndicate silks, the white cap, settles in about 6th or 7th position at this stage, and he's tracked by the grey Dr. Bravo in the red and white. Facile Vega, mid-division red jacket with the blue sleeves as they close in on the second, little separating the leading pair, and they'd be about 8 lengths from top to tail. So sweeping past pack stands, and it's High Definition narrowly to Chasing Fire racing wide of Rare Definition. They round out the leading trio. Break of a length and a half to strong leader against the fence, working across to Tarmuris and Dark Raven. And then Dr. Bravo to Facile Vega with the blue sleeves in the pocket, and the McManus hoops is 2/3 of the way back, accompanied by Il Eteton, the yellow star jacket, and Marine Nationale racing wide of that pair. Then Fenner Cross in the green and white to diverge in the stripes, and Palace Boy continues to look on from last place as they make progress now on towards the third. Rare Edition, white cap, just taking it off High Definition once more, with Chasing Fire still a very close third, and a slight error from Palace Boy at the back of the field. On towards the fourth they go. Rare Edition from High Definition. Chasing Fire on the far side, strong leader, the pink cap, races a close fourth. Then Tarmuris, Dark Raven in the double green, the grey Dr. Bravo in midfield being shadowed by Facile Vega, who in turn is stalked by Marine Nationale. Then in the pocket, who took that fluently, alongside Il Eteton, the grey who's sandwiched between horses. 2 lengths away to diverge. Fenner Cross in the green and white is last but one, and Palace Boy continues to look on at the tail of the field in the hands of Paddy Brennan. So heading towards halfway, at the top of the hill, and they're moving on towards flight 5 in the Supreme. Rare Edition and High Definition inseparable. Il Eteton just had to reach for that at 2/3 of the way back through the field, but he's quickly regathered his momentum, and they're about to sweep left-handed and run downhill towards the third last. Still Rare Edition and High Definition the leading duo. Chasing Fire in the shades of blues riding behind strong leader has the inside on the descent. A little wider out Dark Raven in the shades of green. Now the grey Il Eteton is making smooth progress. Facile Vega in the blue sleeves, red cap coming with him. Tarmuris, white cap riding behind him. Here's the third last in the Supreme, and a lot of chances here. Bad mistake from Fenner Cross has knocked him back into last, and 1 or 2 jostling for positions as they head towards 2 out. And it's here that Chasing Fire, the white-faced gelding, has moved through to take over, but Facile Vega, blue sleeves, covers the move and jumps to the front. Facile Vega sweeps on. Dark Raven moving up to challenge. Marine Nationale in a yellow jacket follows them into the turn. Then in the pocket in fourth, and Il Eteton, and now Facile Vega is asked to stretch. He kicks over 2 lengths clear on the long run down to the final flight in this Supreme. Marine Nationale is giving chase from Dark Raven. Facile Vega, Marine Nationale is closing in. Here's the last. Facile Vega was long, made a mess of it. Marine Nationale comes sweeping on by, storms to the front. Facile Vega is gathered up, but he's got no response, and it's Marine Nationale who draws away to win the Sky Bet Supreme. Facile Vega is second, running on into third Diverge, and right behind him in fourth in the pocket.
Barry Connell takes the Supreme, as does Michael O'Sullivan. Marine Nationale 9-2 winner. Second, Facile Vega 9-4 favourite. Third, Diverge 25-1. A 2-3 for Willie Mullins, but the ultimate prize went to Marine Nationale. Stood up in the irons as he went across the line, Michael O'Sullivan. He rode the perfect race. Facile Vega was committed at the top of the straight by Paul Townend, but the move was covered pretty easily from a horse we hadn't seen since before Christmas, and a Grade 1 double in the process as well. He travelled through the race beautifully, and he's an exciting prospect to go to war with next term. What it'll be, that's for another day. They can enjoy this victory as they wanted. A cool, calm, collected ride from a jockey still claiming at this kind of level. He wasn't able to use the allowance today, but as the trainer said, wise beyond his years.
This will be the first of many Cheltenham Festival winners, I have no doubt, for Michael O'Sullivan, a supreme talent who's just won the Supreme on Marine Nationale. Many congratulations. Talk me through the race and how you won it.
Thanks very much, Lydia. Look, it went quite nicely, really. We jumped off. I thought we went quick to the first, and then we steadied up and we went steady enough. But that suited me because my horse is quick. I found myself in a nice position, probably a bit wider than I would have liked, but I was happy with the room. You know, he hasn't a lot of experience. Followed Facile Vega, and he jumped very well and travelled very well. And at the bottom of the hill, I was just holding on and saving. Paul had kicked on Facile, but I was still happy enough that he'd come back to me, you know, and he had a good look at the last and popped it, and he actually won very snugly. I never got serious on him at all. I think I gave him a few flicks, but that was it. And as well, like, we know he's going to be better and better ground, so it was an unbelievable performance. He's not even having a blow there.
It's an extraordinary performance. As the rain was falling and you saw the unsettled weather forecast, were you worried about that?
Oh, definitely. Like we said, oh no, again, like the Royal Bond. But I suppose when I saw the weather this morning, it was drying out, and I was hoping his ability would get him through, and he did. It wasn't as bad as Fairyhouse, so I was quite confident in the horse's ability, and he did show that. And
as you were going to post, how were you finding the ground? Were you pleased with it as you were going there?
Yeah, well, we actually cantered down on the sand, so
of course, yes, sorry.
But I walked the track yesterday, and I suppose they've had difficulties here with the ground, but I suppose all in all they did as good as they could. And yeah, look, it was what it was. I can't control the ground, so it's one less thing to worry about.
And his jumping was good. I mean, he made that quite critical mistake in the last at the Royal Bond, but overcame it. That spoke of his talent, I suppose.
Yeah, look, his jumping is going to get better. He didn't really put a foot wrong, but he was still hanging in the air small, but he wasn't as quick through the air as you'd like over 2 miles, but I think on better ground he would be. And he's a very, very, very good jumper. He's very clever with his feet. He's just a really intelligent horse in general. If you've seen him walking around the parade, you'd say he was at home. You know, he's just an amazing, amazing horse, and I'm so lucky to be involved with him. That
was the notable thing about him beforehand. He was so relaxed.
Yeah, because even in the mornings, I suppose I was riding him out on my own, which didn't help, but he's a cheeky chap, and you could talk to him. He's so smart. So when he was walking around here, it didn't faze him, and I don't think he's even having a blow after the race.
Barry Connell had made no secret that he expected to win this. He expects to win the Ballymore also with good land. Does that put any pressure on you? He said he's told the whole of Ireland.
It doesn't put any pressure on me from Barry's point of view, but I suppose punters are taking that into account, and I suppose that brings a small bit of pressure. But look, I can only do what I can do, and I knew the horses are in great form, and I suppose Barry put his neck out, and look, he was right.
I think it's great. I think it's great when people say, I've got a good horse and I'm going to win this. I think it just adds to it. How about you, this moment for you? How long have you been picturing the time that you'd ride your Cheltenham Festival winner?
Look, I'm dreaming of this day since I was a kid. I suppose it's surreal. I won't think in. This year has been so good. I suppose it's hard to appreciate it. I don't think it can be topped, really. But look, I'm just enjoying every minute of it.
I suspect it'll just really start to sink in, this evening, I'd have thought, and during the rest of the week. Maybe not even until the festival's over.
Yeah, look, I was coming here with a good book of rides, and to win the first one, it takes the pressure off, and I can enjoy the rest of the week.
Well, it was a fantastic ride, and you are such a rising young talent. Many, many congratulations.
Thanks very much, Lydia.
Well, I'm delighted now to talk to Rory Connell, son of Barry, assistant trainer as well, at what your dad has described as a boutique yard. Now, you said you're a little bit shy, but you've just held the winning trophy for the Sky Bet Supreme. What was that like?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, to get a horse here and to get a horse into a race like that and then win it, it's the stuff of dreams.
Talk me through your thoughts on the way around.
It's never really that that concerned the way round, because I knew Michael knows the horse inside out so well, and looking at him, he was never really panicked or anything. Wheeled him out, brought him down to the last, and when he jumped the last, he picked up and he won snug in the end.
I don't think Mikey does panic, does he?
No, he's very cool. He's very, very cool man. We're very lucky to have him. Like, he just relaxes all these horses, and he knows exactly what he has underneath him, and on the big day the pressure doesn't get to him and he can deliver them on the big stage.
To find someone that talented, that young, still claiming £5 he would have been if he could, is extraordinarily good for you.
Absolutely. We kind of knew where he was going. We wanted to get him before anybody else did. When he started claiming 7 and down to 5, I think he's down to 3 now. So,
oh, is he?
I think so, yeah. So now we're blessed to have him, and long may it continue.
Yes, you really are. So spotting jockey talent, spotting equine talent, and your dad has made no secret of how good a Cheltenham Festival he expects you all to have. With good land tomorrow and this today, Marine Nationale. Are you the same kind of character as your dad?
I wouldn't have been sticking my neck out that much, but we were confident going in. I think with the two of them, they both had very good Grade 1 winning form coming here, so they're entitled to take their chance, and I think tomorrow your man could run a very big race as well. The two of them, they're working together, and sure, if he runs like your man tomorrow, it'll be hard to beat.
Well, it could be a dreamland for you, this Cheltenham Festival. It's lovely to meet you, Rory. Many congratulations.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Another Irish-bred Cheltenham Festival winner. Contact Irish Thoroughbred Marketing to find yours.
One of the most eagerly awaited clashes of the festival was El Fabiolo versus John Bon in the Sporting Live Arkle Challenge Trophy, the second Grade 1 of the day, 11-10 for the former.
They're off, away first time in the Sporting Life Arkle Challenge Trophy, and Dysart Dynamo bounds into an early lead, arriving at the first of the 13 schedule fences. He hops over nimbly, with John Bon in the white cap giving most immediate chase very early. El Fabiolo, keen under restraint, the shades of green drops into third ahead of the mare Effenock Fizz in a yellow jacket, grey cap touching down over fence 2 in fourth place in advance of the grey straw fan Jack. Then Bally Breeze in the green and yellow, the starred sleeves. Adore in a pink jacket has got a couple behind early on. Hollow Games, the red cap, is one of them, and Saint-Roir. I just spot the white star on the green cap of Mark Walsh Racing in rear. Dysart Dynamo leading them over the third, and there would be about 10 lengths covering the field. It's a short run to the fourth. Dysart Dynamo, John Bon a big leap, gave it plenty of daylight in second. Not so Strawfan Jack the Grey, hit it quite hard and sent the birch flying. And it's Dysart Dynamo who leads them on the incline towards the fifth. 3 lengths ahead of John Bon. And then El Fabiolo, who disputes third place with Effenock Fizz, the mare a little wider out. A further 3 or 4 lengths back to Adore in a pink jacket. Dysart Dynamo jumping soundly there. And they now begin the descent on towards the plain fence before the water for the only time. And Dysart Dynamo just beginning to get loose on the lead. He's opened up by 5 or 6 lengths as they freewheel. John Bon is chasing to El Fabiolo, Effenock Fizz in fourth. Then Strawfan Jack to Adore, Bally Breeze, Saint-Roir. And right at the back of the field, Hollow Games. And they're all neat enough there, though Hollow Games very quickly is becoming very remote as they head on towards the water. Well stretched out, courtesy of a decent pace being set by Dysart Dynamo. And Hollow Games is now about 15 lengths behind the others as they head on towards the open ditch. Dysart Dynamo, 3 lengths ahead of John Bon beyond halfway. El Fabiolo took it in third, then Effenock Fizz. To Adore in a pink jacket and the grey straw fan Jack from Saint-Roir. Bally Breeze and a long break to Hollow Games as they cross the fence towards the top of the hill. And Dysart Dynamo continues to pour it on in front, but he's not quite so far clear now. It would be about 4 lengths. The big two waiting in behind. John Bon, the white cap, and the double green of Paul Townend aboard El Fabiolo. There's a 6 or 7 length break to Effenock Effenock Fizz Saudoir in the hoops, making a bit of progress as they take the ditch 4 out. Effenock Fizz hit it hard, and Ballybreeze made a bad mistake as well. And now they're beginning to run on down the hill. They've got 3 fences left to jump in the Sporting Life Arkle, and Dysart Dynamo and Danny Mullins have made all so far. John Bond, though, is beginning to breeze into it, only 2 lengths down. El Fabiolo in third, waiting in the wings behind the leading pair. 5 lengths away to Saudoir. Then Adore and Strawfan Jack to Effenock Fizz and Ballybreeze, and Dysart Dynamo is being closed down by the big 2 in the market. Here's 3 out. Dysart Dynamo was long there, but he still had the lead. In behind John Bond. El Fabiolo a couple of lengths down in third. Saudoir in fourth, and they begin the swing back towards home with just 2 left to jump in the Sporting Life Arkle. Dysart Dynamo chased by John Bond, who's now being asked for more, being asked to close. El Fabiolo stalks them into the straight. Saudoir is back in fourth as they turn their heads for home. Dysart Dynamo. Here's John Bond on the left, El Fabiolo on the right. 3 in a line. Mistake from Dysart Dynamo, and El Fabiolo emerges in front from John Bond. Here's the last. El Fabiolo long there. There wasn't much margin for error. Dysart Dynamo crashes out, and it's El Fabiolo. John Bond is chasing. Saudoir back in third. El Fabiolo staying on powerfully. John Bond isn't getting any closer, and in the match-up between the 2, it's El Fabiolo who wins the Arkle. John Bond is second, Saudoir third, and a gallant grey Strawfan Jack stays on to be fourth.
El Fabiolo, the Sporting Life Arkle winner, 11-10 favourite scores for Paul Townend, Willie Mullins, Simon Munir and Isaac Suede. Second, John Bond 2-1. Third, Saudoir 11-1. And thankfully, Dysart Dynamo got up unscathed after that last fence fall, where he had set the pace and brought them nicely into it. El Fabiolo has turned the tables round with John Bond on their entry novice hurdle run back in April last year, and what a performance it was. His jumping wasn't necessarily pitch perfect, however, he's got plenty still more to come, and this was a very impressive performance. It was good to see that the top 2 ran to form by the looks of it, and El Fabiolo, he's a really exciting prospect.
And Paul Townend has won the Arkle on El Fabiolo. We were just exchanging a few words. I said it looked very easy. You said?
It usually is when you're on the best one, the go gallop. I was half afraid Danny was getting a bit of a freebie at one stage, but Danny's very dangerous in the front, but Dynamo likes to get on with it, you know, and he just wasn't giving him an easy time either. Ground is testing and it's taking a bit of getting, so when I was left on my own I got a little idled on the back, but when I wanted him to race, he came alive for me, and not the most natural of jumpers at every fence, but he knows where his feet are and he gets away with it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, he was sort of rubbing a few, wasn't he? But he's quite clever.
He is, and he's a strong horse too. When he rubs and he gets away with it, but he starts his feet out. He showed me that in Fairyhouse the first day, and the more competitive he is, the better he jumps.
Did he surprise you in the Irish Arkle when you weren't on him?
He did with the ease he went through the race. I was flat out and looking over at Darryl, wanting to get on his one instead, to be honest. So no, he's progressing the whole time. Like, to run to the level he ran in Aintree last year was a testament to him, and he's building on that the whole time.
Talk me through from 2 out here today and your thoughts as the race was panning out.
Yeah, he was brave to go through on the inner at 2 out, and you know, there wasn't a whole lot there at the last, and again he found his feet at the back of it, but no, he galloped to the top of the hill in that ground, which is, you know, a good sign.
It's a sign of a very good horse going very well to take that gap so readily.
It was, you know, and a brave horse to go through there as well.
What do you see him as? Is this a champion 2-mile chaser potentially in the making, or might he go further?
I think he'd have no problem getting further if, you know, when he's learning to settle a lot better now. He was racing Hood and everything, and that's off him, and he's growing up physically and mentally. So I think there's a lot of options for him. But if he keeps winning over 2, I'd say he'd be running over 2.
And did it do him a favour in a funny way not coming to the Cheltenham Festival last year? And you mentioned that he hasn't had that much racing.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, Willie has a knack of things happening to work out well for him, doesn't he? You know, so it's probably not an accident at this stage.
Now, this is a lovely settler for you, isn't it? After Facile Vega, what is your reflection on the Supreme?
Yeah, look, it was probably not run at the fastest pace. He settled well, jumped fine. Probably jumped his way in there, kind of down the hill. But I got all the way into the straight without committing him, and you know, Mikey very cool on his. Probably gave it a very good ride for a young rider, yeah, disappointing. The mistake at the last didn't help us, but I'd say we're getting the worst of it anyway.
Do you think he might go up in trip now?
Possibly. I'm not going to make that call straight away now. We'll work on and come back and reflect on it then.
Well, I'll let you enjoy this, and you've only got the small matter of trying to beat Constitution Hill on State Man, so best of luck with that.
Thanks very much.
Well, it'll strike fear into the heart of many trainers here that Willie Mullins is already on the board for the 2023 Cheltenham Festival in our second race, the Sporting Life Arkle with El Fabiolo. Many congratulations. In the end, it was pretty straightforward.
Well, he tried not to make it straightforward with that, whatever he did at the last. I was watching Danny at that stage on Deister Dynamo. He just got a bad fall, but thankfully he's up and he's back in the stable yard, no medication, no nothing. He just was winded.
That's great to hear. I mean, you heard the reception. Everybody here cheered when he saw him back on his feet. That's great.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they did. Everybody, because we were all wondering, because he'd made the race, as he tends to do in such that way.
And I thought he was getting a nice lead, and he was getting an easy lead in front.
And Danny had got him, I thought.
Yeah, I thought. I said, he's going steady. He got an easy lead, lovely. And I said that to Paul in the winners' enclosure, and he said to me, no, he said, on that ground, he said, we were going plenty fast. And I thought Paul was cantering at all stages, but he said he hit a flat spot, I think, maybe the ditch on the far side going up around there, and he didn't touch him until coming down the hill, but he said when he picked him up, he just was like changing gears, so he was happy enough once he picked him up, but he thought he was just running a little bit flat.
He was very good when he nipped in that inside gap, wasn't he?
I was hoping Danny knew it was one of ours because I said, oh, cripes, is this going to work? And he did. He got a couple of lengths there, which made his job easier, yeah.
You've mentioned the report from Paul about how El Fabiolo went through the race. What do you see this horse as in the future?
Well, I'm hoping he's a champion chaser. He'll improve, I think. He's very few runs, I think. I don't know compared to the rest of the horse in the race, but I imagine he has fewer runs than any of them. And he can improve all the time. And he always makes maybe a little bit of a mistake, but he's very good. He finds a fifth leg. He's very well balanced. So to me, I'd like to make a champion chaser out of him. They're easier to train. They stay sounder. They don't take as much out of themselves over 2 miles than a sort of a grueling 3-miler.
Yes.
So it'd be nice to think we have one coming along.
And it was his first time at the Cheltenham Festival. Do you think that's helped him in a way to?
I'd forgotten that. Yeah. I don't know. Good horses, they take it in their stride. He's been to Aintree, he's been to Punchestown, I think. So one big festival, the same as the next, I think.
The first of the big festival handicaps was the Ultima. The Ultima handicap chase, a premier handicap over 3 miles and a furlong, won last year by Korak Rambler. He was bidding to do the rare double and was 6-1 joint favourite with Monbeg Genius.
They're off. Got away first time, away to a flyer as well for the Ultima handicap chase. They make the run towards the first of the 20 scheduled fences. Nose-banded Happy Go Lucky is prominent, with Tocqueville Ben in the red and yellow and Cloudy Glen and Fantasticus. And Tocqueville Ben took a bit of a chance. The first, ICO Madric, is the early back marker, and they come on quickly to the second. It was Carl Philippe with the white sleeves who picked up perhaps just ahead, but Fantasticus in the black and white cuts the corner, and he and Tocqueville Ben move on as they approach the third. To Carl Philippe and Cloudy Glen and Happy Go Lucky. Harper's Brook out wide in a pink jacket. They're into overdrive with the black cap and T-clip of the check colours down on the inside, crossing out over fence 3. Nasalam in the green and white hoops is just in behind them as they sweep on down the hill for the first time. Monbeg Genius, meanwhile, has settled towards midfield in the green and blue with the red cap. Glamorgan Duke wider out is just ahead of him. And then Good Boy Bobby, and they in turn are being followed by the Goffer as they move on towards the fence, taking on the descent before the water. And there would be about 15 lengths top to tail. At this stage, Oscar Elite is the back marker. Fanny and Destraval is just in front of him with ICO Madric, and Korak Rambler in the purple and yellow is among those held up. Over the water they go. Watching the tail enders get over it, and once again Oscar Elite was the last one to land. So on now towards the first of the open ditches. Fantasticus out-jumped by Harper's Brook with a big leap. Glamorgan Duke made a mistake at that one. Happy Go Lucky was a little close to it as well. Fanion D'Estraval and Oscar Elite remain the final pair as they move on fairly swiftly to the next. And it was Harper's Brook in the white cheek pieces up on the outer who disputed it on landing with Fantastic as Topville Ben in the red and yellow and the nose-banded Happy Go Lucky. Carl Philippe is down on the inside, tracking them at the top of their hill first time to Inter Overdrive, the black cap nose-banded T-Clipper. Good Boy Bobby, the double green wide of Glamorgan Duke as they take the ditch at the top of the hill to Cloudy Glen and Remastered and Monbeg Genius. Lascalan is 3/4 of the way back at this stage, just behind ICO Madrick. The Wolf is among those held up in a pale blue jacket as they begin to freewheel on down the hill and head on now towards Fence 9 in the Ultima. It's Harper's Brook leading to Fantastic as Topville Ben, Happy Go Lucky. Carl Philippe with the white sleeves, T-Clipper into Overdrive, Good Boy Bobby. Remastered in the yellow sleeve jacket is next. Korak Rambler tucked away right down on the running rail. Spot the purple and yellow colours. He's got the Goffer for company and also Monbeg Genius. Then Glamorgan Duke and Nassalam and the big breakaway and 3 under through 5 who's out wide. The Wolf, ICO Madrick still towards the rear of the field with Lascalan, Fanion D'Estraval and Oscar Elite, and they're about to take the turn which will bring them to the end of a circuit in the Ultima. And it's Harper's Brook and Tom Cannon giving a lead to their 22 rivals. Fantastic as Topville Ben and Happy Go Lucky and the noseband are in closest attendance. Carl Philippe is next, and then across from the rail to T-Clipper into Overdrive and Good Boy Bobby away to the left. Fast or Slow in a dark blue and yellow jacket. Red Cap is inching a bit closer up through midfield. Glamorgan Duke was a little bit slow at that one, and they come on swiftly now towards fence 11. Harper's Brook picking up ahead of Fantastic as Topville Ben, Carl Philippe, Happy Go Lucky and T-Clipper. They round out the leading half dozen. Into Overdrive, the black cap is next. Cloudy Glen racing on the inside of Monbeg Genius in the blue and green with the red cap. Then Remastered, Fast or Slow, Good Boy Bobby, Korak Rambler, the Goffer, followed by 3 under through 5. Nassalam and the big breakaway. Glamorgan Duke will be the next one over. Working back to the Wolf who made a mistake. 3 under through 5 was in perhaps a little tight to it. ICO Madrick is still towards the rear of the field. Lascalan, Fanion D'Estraval, the final pair. The big breakaway is just in front of them as they head on towards the next plain fence. This is number 13 coming up to them. Harper's Brook, big leap, landed 2 lengths clear. To Fantasticus, watching the rest stream over nimbly enough. Lascala is just about last of all, and it's Harper's Brook leading Fantasticus at the water for the second time. Then Happy Go Lucky and Topville Ben, who's in the red and yellow. To Carl Philippe and T-Clipper, Monbeg Genius right behind them. The Wolf made another mistake at that one, and they're moving on towards the penultimate ditch. This is fence 15 in the Ultima. Harper's Brook still a couple of lengths clear. To Happy Go Lucky, Topville Ben, Fantasticus, a dark jacket noseband of T-Clipper. On his inner is Carl Philippe. Right in behind these, Good Boy Bobby on the outer, Monbeg Genius, remastered with the yellow sleeves. Then Cloudy Glen and Nassalam, followed by Fast or Slow and the Goffer and Oscar Elite. Into Overdrive, he's being pushed along. He's dropped back through the field. He's been passed by Korak Rambler, the purple and yellow, last year's winner, coming from a similar position at this stage to 12 months ago as they take the ditch at the top of the hill 4 out where T-Clipper made a mistake, and it's still Harper's Brook giving a bold sight in front, about to freewheel on down the hill. He's 4 lengths clear. Fantastic as chasing. Happy Go Lucky is a very close third. Then towards the inside, Topville Ben is being pushed along. Monbeg Genius, the red cap, poised in behind the leaders on the descent. T-Clipper and Good Boy Bobby next to Fast or Slow, and then the Goffer who's pulled out wide in a blue and red jacket. Korak Rambler sneaking through against the rail in the purple and yellow as they close in on the third last. Harper's Brook draws to it, collides in the air with Fantasticus, who was just coming through to challenge. Away to the left on the outer, Monbeg Genius, and further left, the Goffer are still getting into it. Fast or Slow, dark blue with the red caps right behind them. Korak Rambler, purple and yellow, will cut the corner, and they head back towards home with 2 fences left to jump. The white-faced Oscar Elite orange jacket has latched on as well. Monbeg Genius and the Goffer now sweep through to take over. Followed through by Oscar Elite. Second from the left, Fast or Slow, and then Korak Rambler. 2 out. The Goffer jumped narrowly ahead. From on the far side, Monbeg Genius. Here's Fast or Slow in the dark blue. Korak Rambler coming between horses to hold every chance. 4 of them charging up the hill. Fast or Slow. Here's Korak Rambler again for back-to-back successes in the race. And it's Korak Rambler who gets to the front. Idles a little, but he's going to inch home. And it's Korak Rambler again in the Ultima. From fast or slow, Monbeg Genius. The Goffer was fourth, and then Oscar Elite clear of T Clipper.
Korak Rambler goes back-to-back in the Ultima. 6-1 joint favourite for Derek Fox, Lucinda Russell and the Ramblers. Second fast or slow, 7-1. Third, Monbeg Genius, 6-1 joint favourite. Fourth going to the Goffer at 7-1. Well, the Grand National was put as his main target, but why not knock off another Ultima in the process? And a year after winning this off 140, Korak Rambler has won it off 146. We've only seen him twice, fifth at Carlisle in October, and then fourth in the Coral Trophy. He'd been dropped a pound for that, and he's been trained to the minute for this by Lucinda Russell. He got the fast pace that he likes to aim at, and ultimately he wasn't doing a tap in front. Fast or Slow's run another great race at the festival, but just been denied.
Korak Rambler is such a huge talent, and Peter Scudamore and Lucinda Russell are responsible for him. Peter, you ride this horse every day, don't you?
Yes, I do. Not every day, but most days. And I'm the reason I hesitated, I'm trying to think why. But he's such a character. I think. It's funny. I'm just trying to think. You know, when I said to you about the road to Cheltenham and sort of how much I enjoy it and how much I learn from it, it's because I think you can get an arrogance in my position. I think you know everything, and actually riding horses, training from being a jockey, I thought I knew it, and then the more I spend time with them, the more I realise how little I do know. But I can offer a slight kindness to them, and I have a confidence around them. I'm not trying to be big-headed, but I ride with a confidence because I'm of an age, and I think he sulked a little bit early in his career, and I play with him, and you know, he pulls out the stables, he stops, gets to the end of the barn, he stops. I mean, he bites me when I saddle up, but once he's out and go, he's happy. But you like to bring that out bring their character out into them, and I think that's where he's got his confidence from. You know, without the genius of Derek Fox, you know.
Well, I mean, first, I don't think anyone would ever describe you as arrogant, but Derek Fox was saying how much confidence you give him, and that the last words that you said to him filled him with confidence about the ride. Would you like to talk about Derek and his character and what he brings to your yard?
Yes, so he's the most extraordinary man, and it's not. He wasn't. I think he left school at 12, so he wasn't the highest educated person that ever came to me. But sometimes you can mistake that for not being very intelligent. And on a horse, he has an innate sense, and he's actually we laugh about books and stuff now, which we would never have laughed about at the time when he came over. And then another thing to extend to his character is there's a little boy called Ches went up to get the trophy when he came over from Sligo. He couldn't do anything. He was on. His future wasn't great. He couldn't ride. And Derek said, "Look, I've got a young lad come over. He can't ride." He said, "I'm going to teach him to ride. If he doesn't make it very shortly, he'll be back on the boat to Ireland." And honestly, he's disciplined him. And you watch Ches's, Derek says, "You be out on time." He's running to be out on time. So it shows the character of the man. And yes, I rode for great trainers like Fred Winter or Martin Pipe. And Martin, if I was a football manager, I would try to instill, because I learned off the great trainers. So I always think, somebody like Shankly, who really I enjoyed their way of motivating people, is to give them confidence. And occasionally I make mistakes. Lucinda makes mistakes. Well, I think she made a mistake once, but Derek, there's no use shouting when somebody, all Derek wanted to do there, if he came too late, he doesn't want me saying, "Well, you came too late after being a genius last year." So you've got to have the confidence. If things go wrong, you go right. So that's what, and that's not intelligence on my part. That's just experience of having race ridden myself.
And Lucinda Russell is here now. What were you just saying was the mistake that you made?
I made a mistake, but I married it, which was that was a big mistake. Anyway, we'll move on from that one. But I haven't been here to hear everything that you've been saying. But I think what you've got to remember is it comes back down to this man, that it's the way that he guides. He rides the horse every day, but it's the way that he leads the team of the boys. And I leave him to do whatever he wants to do with them, but he instills a confidence in them and a desire to win it. But it's a quiet confidence, not an arrogance. It's just being there, and they all work terribly hard. It's fantastic. It's good. It's good ethos we have. But, it's easy to say that you love it just now when you're standing with a Cheltenham Festival winner, but it's good. I enjoy what we do.
The thing that always comes across whenever we talk to you, all of you, Derek as well, is the team. I mean, it's so evident. This horse is very, very talented as well. Grand National next?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's got to be the route. He's gone down in history now doing this. It's another way for him to come greater. It'll be hard for Skew to watch because it is his favourite horse, but he deserves to have a crack at a race like that.
Yes, he absolutely does. I'd love to talk to you longer, but the Champion Hurdle's coming up. So all I'm going to do is congratulate you both on a fantastic win and wish you the best of luck with the hoist and you're on Friday as well.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Another Irish bred Cheltenham Festival winner. Contact Irish Thoroughbred Marketing to find yours.
The big one up next, and the potential crowning moment of Constitution Hill. He's been billed a superstar for the last 12 months since he bolted up in the Supreme. Well, now is his chance, 11-4 on, to etch his name in the history books.
They're off for the Unibet Champion Hurdle of 2023, and Not So Sleepy jumps off in front. The hooped sleeves lead into the first of the 8 scheduled flights. I Like to Move It, Maroon Jacket right alongside and jump through to take the advantage. Constitution Hill, meanwhile, Nico de Boinville, white jacket with a black cap, tracks the leading pair on the long run down to the second of Vauban, pink silks on his inner, and then Jason the Militant in a brown and white jacket. State Man held up last but one. Yellow sleeves of Paul Townend and Zanna here, and Davy Russell, the red cap, looking on, and they're still about a furlong and a half away from flight 2. And it's I Like to Move It and Sam Twiston Davis leading up to Not So Sleepy and Johnny Burke. Constitution Hill, Nico de Boinville a close third. Vauban tracks them in 4th place under Danny Mullins, Jason the Militant and Joe Williamson next, then State Man and Paul Townend and Davy Russell and Zanna here, and I Like to Move It hops neatly out over flight 2. So swinging up the hill, they go on the incline, and Constitution Hill is just sent up by de Boinville to put a bit of pressure on I Like to Move It. 3 parts of a length between the leading pair. They stride a couple clear now to Not So Sleepy and Vauban, who dispute third. Jason the Militant races next. State Man is very patiently ridden and has only Zanna here behind as they crest the rise and begin to descend towards the third. And having briefly gone up to the quarters of I Like to Move It, de Boinville reins Constitution Hill back once more. Not So Sleepy and Vauban continue to track them with Jason the Militant. And then State Man with the yellow sleeves racing on the far side. And Zanna here, although last, is firmly in touch. I Like to Move It joined by Constitution Hill. It was very slick, very nimble there. And they move on towards the 4th. The leading pair now inseparable. Not So Sleepy with the hoop sleeves racing on the far side of Vauban, then State Man and Jason the Militant, and lastly Zanna here. So into the wings of flight 4 they go in the Unibet Champion Hurdle. It's I Like to Move It to Constitution Hill, who again wasted no time in the air. Very neat, very economical. State Man is being sent closer now. He's moving up onto Constitution Hill's tail, and only 2 lengths off the lead as they approach halfway. Vauban against the rail, working across to Jason the Militant. Not So Sleepy has slightly lost his position. Last but one and outside Zanna here. Flight at the top of the hill. Constitution Hill right alongside I Like to Move It. They're being slipstreamed by State Man of Vauban against the rail and Jason the Militant, belying big odds at this stage between horses. Couple lengths away to Zanna here and Not So Sleepy. Now the downhill run towards the third last in the Champion Hurdle. I Like to Move It has got Constitution Hill right on his shoulder. In 3rd place, Vauban, accompanied by State Man. Jason the Militant now being ridden along, Not So Sleepy. Zanna here, the red cap, in behind as they close in on the second last. I Like to Move It, Maroon Jacket, Constitution Hill alongside. De Boinville still sitting quietly. Townend, the yellow sleeves, in behind, stalking his rival on State Man. Vauban is still bang there, pink silks. Zanna here, the red cap in touch. Russell just beginning to work away, and Constitution Hill bounds to the front at the second last. He lands 2 lengths ahead. State Man is now moving off in pursuit. Vauban in third as I Like to Move It weakens away, and it's Constitution Hill sweeping around the final turn. Now he's asked to go. De Boinville asked him to quicken. He takes 4, 5 lengths out of State Man, who's giving game chase. Constitution Hill from Stateman and Vauban. The final flight in the Champion Hurdle. Constitution Hill, hold your breath, he's long and he's over clear from Stateman, who's chasing, but he's chasing his shadow, and it's Constitution Hill, one of the hurdling greats, eased close home. Constitution Hill, simply breathtaking, wins the Champion Hurdle in a rout. From Stateman in second and Zanahir in third and Vauban fourth.
Constitution Hill bolts up in the Unibet Champion Hurdle. 11-4 on favourite scores for Nico de Boinville, Nicky Henderson and Michael Buckley. Second Stateman 7-2 and 9 lengths the winning distance between the pair. Well, for some, he was crowned the Champion Hurdler 12 months ago when he announced himself on the big stage with an effortless win in the Supreme Novices Hurdle. 22 lengths the margin that day, 9 lengths today, but that doesn't tell nearly the whole story. He remains unbeaten on just his 6th ever run. He has run them ragged. They never looked like they could catch him. The selfish part of you would like to see him try something different, but if they stick to the Champion Hurdle route, it's very hard to see him being beaten.
Well, we've been crowning him the Champion Hurdle winner for 12 months now, and now Constitution Hill is the Champion Hurdle winner, and Nico de Boinville was on board. Now, I thought you were going to keep it simple. Did you think it was going to be as simple as that?
I thought it turned out. We always had a plan just to do that, and then you could go backwards and forwards according to how you wanted to do it. You just didn't want to get into trouble. And I wasn't quite sure what the Willie Mullins camp was going to do, and so it was interesting to me when Vauban lined up. You know, I thought, oh, right, what have we got here? And then I saw Stateman was tracking me. So then, yeah, and Sam Twiston set some lovely fractions there, and it just meant I can just stop, start, because his jumping actually took me there all the time, and it just meant I could use the hills just to fill him up again, and he was, I didn't see one at the last, but he did. So I had visions of like Annie Powell, you know. I was like, oh, well done. Yeah, he knows better than me.
That was the only heart-in-mouth moment from our perspective.
Yeah, but in actual fact, because he was on his hocks, he was able to elevate up and out of it. So
everywhere, he just did what you wanted him to do.
Yeah, he was foot perfect everywhere. Yeah.
And I've said that all season we've been expecting this, haven't we? And I know you take pressure very, very well. I mean, extraordinarily well, Nico. Yeah. How has it been for you that year?
It's been great. You know, obviously you wanted to get through all the sort of preliminary races. You know, the Fighting Fifth we had a great reception up there, then the Christmas Hurdle, and then in actual fact, sort of 2 weeks coming into this, I decided just to switch off all the your voice and things like that, just because it was all just white noise and it was just getting it's just ridiculous. Everyone was talking about it, so thought we'd just focus on ourselves and focus on what's going on at Seven Barrows. And Sean, who rides him every day, has done a fantastic job. The governor's got him in great order, and I think he's proved to everyone, you know, what a fabulous racehorse he is. And absolutely delighted for Michael and Islay. You know, they've got a fabulous racehorse on their hands, and Michael's put so much into the game. He's a real sort of maverick owner in that he'll try new things and try anything. So where we go now, I don't know.
Well, that's going to be an exciting thing. I'm going to put that to Michael. Where would you like to go?
Well, I don't know. He could do anything. I'm sure we'll probably try him over a fence at some point, but I guess we don't want to pigeonhole him just as a hurdler. You know, he could be anything.
And I take it he's never tried a fence yet?
Not since he's been at ours, obviously, from his point-to-point days, but I think he'd be good over a fence.
You'd like to ride him over a fence?
Well, it's interesting. As racing fans, that's what you want to see, isn't it?
Hugely. I'm so glad you said that, because that is what this horse is, isn't he? I mean, he could go on to ride an extraordinary career.
Exactly. You know, I find in recent years horses tend to get pigeonholed a bit too much. You know, and you know, bar Forheen, you know, it could be interesting, and he's still so young.
And you know, quite often the question here would be: is he the greatest horse you've ever ridden? I'm assuming, despite the fact that we can list Sprinter Sacra and we can list Altior and even Coney Gree when he was great, when he won the Gold Cup. Yeah. I'm assuming this is the best horse you've ever ridden.
Look, all those horses are fantastic in their own right, and they all belong in their own era. And I don't like to do that. And this is my first Champion Hurdle and my first proper top class 2-mile hurdler. And today he was fantastic, and I don't think anything would get anywhere near him.
Now, other people will put numbers on it and that kind of thing, and obviously the Supreme was set up to deliver that brilliant performance last year. From your perspective, where would you fit that performance there with everything else? Because it seemed to me he was doing it all in second gear.
Exactly, it was all very smooth. I mean, you saw him, as soon as he hit the front, he pricked his ears, and then it's, come on, let's go and, you know, go and do the business. But he's so straightforward, and you know, these Blue Brazils, they all seem to bring that element of mental fortitude to them, and he takes it all in his stride. You saw him going up the parade, he's got his ears back, he's just So relaxed.
And I saw him coming in, and obviously everybody is gathered around him. He just doesn't turn a hair at all.
He nearly tripped over on the walkway back in, honestly. He's that. Yeah.
And a word for Nicky Henderson. I mean, he has made this race his own over the years. He is brilliant at preparing a champion hurdler. How has it been to watch him bringing Constitution Hill to the boil for this?
I love watching him with any of his horses, you know, and he's just an absolute master of getting them to peak at this time. And I just love being in the yard and enjoying the ride, and it's fantastic to watch him and knowing that I could never do that or have that sort of intuition and that instinct.
I don't think you should do yourself down at all, because I mean everyone had so much confidence in the ride that you were going to give. Where do you get that unflappable temperament from?
You just try and enjoy it and relax, and yeah.
Well, you're writing history. Congratulations, Nico.
Thanks a lot, thank you.
I have Michael Buckley. He's just seen Constitution Hill win the Champion Hurdle, as we all expected, as we've been expecting for 12 months. Now that you've actually got it, how is it feeling for you?
It's funny how you can sort of play those things in your mind that, you know, won by all that distance last year, but I must say that I found it quite pressured, actually. So it's a relief. And it's funny, all these people who love this horse cheering Nicky and me coming through that tunnel. I got quite tearful. It's really wonderful.
I'm not surprised you got tearful. This is an absolute horse of a lifetime, isn't he?
Oh, without any doubt, yes, without any doubt. He's he kind of does it for fun in a sort of strange way. I think he thinks, when the way he jumped in the straight at Newcastle and again today, sort of fires himself off over a hurdle. Nico had absolutely nothing to do with it, and fortunately he's got a good jump in him, so he got over. But I think he likes to show off a bit.
Well, we like to see that. We like seeing him show off. You mentioned the pressure. When was it starting to build? Is it the likes of us, you know, talking about how great he is already and what he might be able to achieve? Is that what was piling on the pressure from your perspective?
Well, I think it's more that kind of his university. Everybody thought this would be a doddle, really, and also I got to the point where I thought, well, if he only wins by half a length, everyone's going to feel that, you know, they've been let down. Anyway, that didn't happen, thank goodness. So I don't know what he did win by, but it was. He's such a cool dude. I mean, I spoke to Nicky at 12. He was fast asleep in the box here. He's got the perfect temperament, yes, to be a good horse.
Now, Nico described you as a maverick in his winning interview, and he wondered, as we all do, what you're going to do with this horse. Do you want to win another Champion Hurdle? Do you want to win a Champion Chase? Do you want to win a Gold Cup? What would you like to do?
Well, I just think that it's very easy in life. I mean, actually, it wasn't available to me as a person to always do the obvious, because the obvious would have been that I'd have been stuck down up to my ankles in mud in a farm in Sussex or something. So I think that, well, the obvious things are we could come back next year and go hurdling and try and do the same thing again, or we could chance our luck in chasing. I did have lunch with, he let the cat out of the bag down there. I had lunch with Nicky last Thursday, who'd asked me on Boxing Day what did I want to do, and I said, I'm not really sure, Nicky. Although I did say last year it would be fun to try and emulate Dawn Run. Anyway, what do you want to do? And he said, well, all the obvious things. And I said, there is another thing we could do. And he said, what? And I said, well, we could run in the Ascot Gold Cup. How about that? So anyway, he said, oh, I hadn't thought of that. But anyway, I don't know what we'll do. I think all being well, we'll go to Aintree because there's a nice gap till that, and then see what dreams we can have.
We will be asking you the question again, but it's just to reflect for a moment.
Don't take that too seriously about Ascot.
Well, yeah, I won't, but it is extraordinary that you even bring it up, and it's extraordinary that I've listed those 3 races, and you've kind of gone, yeah, there are possibilities. I mean, this is an extraordinary horse.
Well, what's amazing about him is that he's still so young. He's only 6, and actually his birthday he's not 6 till the end of this week, I think. So he's done a hell of a lot for such a young horse, and you know about jump horses better than me. The chances are he'll be even stronger next year at this age. So right now the world's his oyster. I hope it I hope it stays that way.
I'm sorry, and it's so exciting, I think, for everyone gathered here today, for racing fans who, again, Nico mentioned, and yourself, you're a racing fan. What a fantastic day it is. I'll let you enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Speed on to Aintree, and I look forward to speaking to you again.
That would be fun. Yeah, I'd like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
It's another Tattersalls National Hunt winner.
Rachel Blackmore walking out into the paddock ahead of Honeysuckle's date with Destiny, the final race of her career, or so we think, in the Mares' Hurdle. A bang up to scratch renewal, in fact probably the best running of the Mares' Hurdle. 9-4 joint favourite with last year's winner Mary's Rock.
They're off. A race away for race number 5, the Close Brothers Mares' Hurdle. Starting in the centre of the course here, they have 10 flights of hurdles to jump, and as they run down to the first of those, She Wears It Well with Honeysuckle and Love Envoi with the trio who are over it together. The back of the field, Echoes in Rain settles as last of all, and the yellow sleeves of Brandy Love is just ahead of her. They run down to number 2 pretty quickly, and Honeysuckle is up and over the second in front very narrowly to Love Envoi running in second place as they make this turn towards the home straight. Behind these, She Wears It Well, the grey and orange hoop jacket, races in company with Queen's Brook, a red cap on a white and green jacket. Then last year's winner of the race, Mary's Rock, a pale blue jacket, nose-banded mare. She runs in 5th position at the moment, and she is kept company by a stablemate, Epatante, in the green and yellow hoops and a white cap. Behind these is Brandy Love, check jacket of yellow and black, the dark blue and orange of Theatre Glory, and then in green and red colours, Echoes in Rain as the back marker. They move into the home straight for the first time. This is flight number 3, and Love Envoi has moved through to an advantage of some 3 lengths or so as they make the long run now towards flight number 4. So Love Envoi and Johnny Burke showing in front. Honeysuckle, 4th festival run for her today. She's won 3 races here so far, 2 champion hurdles and this race back in 2020. She runs 3 lengths behind the leader, at the moment in 2nd place. She Wears It Well is in 4th, the orange hoops on grey, just ahead of the red cap of Queen's Brook. A nose-banded Mary's Rock is behind those as they continue the run down towards number 4. Doesn't appear to be too strong a pace. Epatante still to fully settle yet in the green and yellow hoop jacket, races just in company with Brandy Love. Theatre Glory behind these. Echoes in Rain is the back marker. Now they get to flight number 4, and after this they have 1 more circuit to go. Jumping over it, All Handle It Well. Swinging away to the far side then, and it's Love Envoi. She's about 3 lengths ahead, setting a sedate gallop here. Runs to Honeysuckle in 2nd position. There's just over a length then to She Wears It Well, who's just 1 off the running well in 3rd place, with improved position now for Mary's Rock, who's gone through into 4th. Behind these, Queen's Brook, the red cap, drops 1 position back into 5th. Epatante is behind her about 1.5 lengths further back in company with Brandy Love, and there's another 1.5 lengths or so to Theatre Glory just ahead of Echoes in Rain as they make their way away to the far side of the course then and run on towards flight number 5, so already approaching the halfway stage. Love Envoi still has the advantage. Honeysuckle maybe only about 2 lengths behind now. She's got closer in 2nd place. Still getting closer is Mary's Rock, who's moved up into 3rd. She goes up on the inside to take a very narrow 3rd position as they run on towards flight number 6. These the leading trio. The back marker continues to be Echoes in Rain with Queen's Brook close up to the leaders. Epatante 3 from the back of the field at the moment as they jump this flight of hurdles. They all handle that well. She Wears It Well continues to hold just about 4th position. Echoes in Rain at the back. Brandy Love 2 lengths ahead of her, and the dark blue of Theatre Glory also towards the rear of the field. Running up towards the top of the hill. Very little change in the order. Lead continues with Love Envoi. Honeysuckle is not that far behind her though. Touches down about 1.5 lengths behind in 2nd place with the noseband Mary's Rock. Nico de Boinville up into 3rd place. And then comes She Wears It Well. She Wears It Well at 1 off the rails. 2 off the rails is Queen's Brook. Epatante poised right in behind those. Then comes Theatre Glory. Brandy Love, Echoes in Rain are the next pair. They're at the top of the hill now, about to swing downhill. 3 more to jump in probably the best race ever run, this Close Brothers Mares Hurdle, and Love Envoy heads down the hill, begins to freewheel and try and get away, leads by a length and a half. Honeysuckle in second. Mari's Rock is there. She wears it well just in behind those. Queensbrook wide on the course. Epatante making progress. Echoes in Rain, the green and red making good headway. Theatre Glory behind those. Now Brandy Love is the back marker. They're coming down to the second last. Love Envoy just in front to Honeysuckle in second position as they take the second last flight of hurdles. Behind those, Mari's Rock, and then on the left with the red cap is Queensbrook. Epatante trying to get through. She wears it well in behind those. They turn into the home straight now. Love Envoy has the lead. Honeysuckle asked to quicken. Behind these, Queensbrook in third place. Mari's Rock is struggling in fourth, running on Echoes in Rain. Brandy Love as well. The last flight coming up now, nearest to us, the pale jacket of Honeysuckle. Furthest from us, Love Envoy, the red, white and blue. Love Envoy was just in front there to Honeysuckle in second. Queensbrook is behind those. They race up towards the line. Honeysuckle is responding to the calls of Rachel Blackmore and she'll end with a victory. Honeysuckle has done it. Second position, Love Envoy. Queensbrook behind those. Then Echoes in Rain and Brandy Love.
Honeysuckle wins, 9-4 joint favourite, wins the mares. Rachel Blackmore, Henry de Bromhead, second Love Envoy, 11-1. Third, Queensbrook, 16-1. And this will have been particularly poignant and emotional for all concerned. Honeysuckle bowing out on a victory, her 17th in all. It's included 2 champion hurdles. This was her second Mares Novices hurdle, and arguably this is one of her more impressive performances. Love Envoy has given everything she's got, last year's Mares Novice hurdle winner. She ran her all the way to the line, but the determination, the courage, and a beautiful ride from Rachel Blackmore has seen her bow out a winner on a fantastic career.
I've seen some receptions here at Cheltenham, but I have never, ever seen anything like this for Honeysuckle with her 4th success here at the Cheltenham Festival. Her owner is Kelly Alexander, and the first thing to do, I think, is to thank you and to congratulate you on your courage as well, to, after what happened at Leopardstown at the Dublin Racing Festival, to come here and bring her the send-off here that she deserves.
Well, I don't need that much. We didn't run that badly. I kept saying that. We didn't run that badly. She's maybe just not as good. She isn't as good as she was last year, and I never ever said she's the greatest champion hurdle ever. Maybe the one before maybe turn out to be the best one ever. I think she's got to be one of the bravest. She's got guts beyond belief, tremendous winning attitude. She's incredibly talented. And today was just, she had to tough out a bit today, but it was amazing. And again, I'm really happy for Henry and his family, and get that on the board. It's a tremendous day.
It's just been, I mean, they've been touched by tragedy with the loss of their son, and to have Honeysuckle do this, I mean, what's your perspective on that?
Well, this is just a horse race, and that was real life, so I don't think you really can compare, but it's nice to give them a bit of enjoyment today, and Henry and his wife Heather loved it, and but this is just a horse race. It's just a bit of fun. It's not real life really, but today was a great horse race and a great day, and she's retired and having an absolute blast owning her. And I'm just a bit lost for words actually. Now, the celebration got a bit out of control, and but if you can't lose it a bit after winning a horse like that, winning a race like that, then you probably shouldn't own racehorses, should you really, you know?
I think your perspective all the way through this horse's career, in the groundedness and the humanity that you brought to owning a horse like this, I think that's part of her story. And what have you made of everybody here and the reception that she's given you and the mare?
Oh, it just shows you how a great sport it is, because they love it. They don't love me, I can tell you that. They maybe love Rachel a bit, and maybe even Henry a bit, but they really love that horse. They really love that horse, and I think I'm going to have to pick up my trophy.
I think you are.
Now.
Congratulations.
See you later.
Honeysuckle has got her fairy tale ending with a second win in the Mares Hurdle, bowing out, or I think she's bowing out. More of that in a moment. I'm talking to her trainer, Henry de Bromhead. Many congratulations. How you? It's not often you get that, is it? No, you hope it will happen.
You dream of it, but it doesn't. Yeah, usually it doesn't happen. You know, so yeah, it's just you just got to enjoy every second of it. It was just incredible. The whole thing. morning. Rachel was brilliant on her. She jumped brilliant. She knew where she was, and she read the script. Yeah, so incredible. Brilliant for Kenny. You know, it was brave after, you know, like a lot of people were saying, would we retire after Leopardstown? And once Kenny was happy, I was happy, and that was great. So, yeah, it's an amazing way to end. And just to have had a mare like her is incredible, and feel privileged and lucky to have had her.
And you've trained her so brilliantly. Were you saying that she came alive? She knew where she was. She recognised Cheltenham, the place where she's marched around and won 2 champion hurdles before.
Oh yeah, they definitely know when they're here. You know, I suppose all the travelling and everything, but they definitely know when they're here. And she knew it absolutely. She was trying to kill us. She got even more agile when we were saddling her. She's tried to kill me for the last 5 years, and she nearly got me this time. And she just seemed really well. So look, it's just amazing. It's pinch yourself stuff, you know, and yeah, you know, it's been a really tough year, and yeah, just to finish with her like that is incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you saw that the crowd all felt that for you as well.
Totally. Wherever we go, you know, Manel Indo at Tramore, Deep Cave at Leopardstown when Jack has a race, or wherever we go, the support is just unbelievable. And yeah, it's just it's amazing how supportive people are. We've got a brilliant friends and family, but the whole industry, and yeah, it's just incredible. Like, it's really tough, but we're lucky. You know, there's a lot of people in our situation that don't have the support we get, and so we're lucky in that sense.
And it's not just the industry, is it? It's people who know of your story and wanted to express that love for
Absolutely. It's amazing. Like, people are, you know, they're incredible, and yeah, it's you know, look, I'll waffle on forever, but look, it's just an amazing way for her to finish her career. She deserved that, and as we said, so often it doesn't happen, but thankfully it did today.
Now, you were just saying, because you mentioned it now, is this the end of her career? Because you just raised the possibility of Punchestown.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a trainer. She's one of the best horses I've ever had. I'll be like clinging on to her, leaving the yard. No, I think it would be wise now. Yeah, you know, it's not my call. It's up to Kenny. But like, to get that, to finish on that note is incredible. But I'm sure we'd finish on that note in Punchestown as well. No, I think it's done. But it's not my call, so I wouldn't like to say for sure. But I just said it to Kenny there, and he said, "Yeah, I think, you know, that's it. You know, like, we rolled the dice, and we've got the fairy tale."
You really have, and the heart that she showed up the hill as well.
She's some girl, you know. She's just an incredible mare. It's just, I don't know, yeah. You know, we'll never have another one like her, I'd say. You know, she's just been amazing. And, you know, you flip the ground, the 2 races she was beaten in, she could have been a lot closer in both, you know. So, yeah. No, we've been so lucky to have her, and yeah, it's just, she's been a joy.
This has been such an amazing day, and you know, I didn't think the Champion Hurdle could be topped, but it just has. Congratulations with all that you've done with Honeysuckle in your career, to you and your family and the whole team, Rachel, Kenny, everyone, Peter, and thank you for bringing her here for a proper goodbye as well.
It's brilliant. We're delighted. Thanks a million.
Thanks,
Lydia.
It's another Tattersalls National Hunt winner.
Very competitive action in the Boodles Juvenile Hurdle. Registered as the Fred Winter, a premier handicap in its own right over an extended 2 miles. Tekau was your 3-1 clear favourite.
Flag up again. They're off. Short run down to the first here. They get away with the yellow onto the right of Perseus Way. Bad on the extreme left as they come to number 1, where the dark blue and pink of Samuel Spade jumped it almost sideways. Luca Morgan briefly loses an iron. Up with him, 1 from the left, Romancero Ledun. Tekau in a prominent position. You can spot the white colours of Biker up there as well. Sir Alan is with him. Feaster Warren, the stripes of red and yellow, and Ludus in black and yellow, and next and behind these is Mighty Mo Missouri. And then comes Sundial, one of the best turned out toward the green cap White Star amongst the front runners. At this stage, Affadal is the back marker. Gordon Zora, McTeague, Metamorphosis towards the rear, as also is Mr. Freedom and Punter de l'Est and Shared. Moving on towards number 2, Samuel Spade in the dark blue and pink is the leader, gets over that just in front. They all clear it okay. A yellow jacket of Perseus Way against the rails. In white colours there is Biker. Then the first of the greys in the lineup, green colours for Bad up on the outside of Takao, the favourite. Very prominent position. He's probably sharing 4th at the moment. Behind these, Jazzy Matty in red and white up on the outside with Romancero Ledun. Also in a prominent position is Ludus. He's towards the rails in a yellow and black jacket. Feastawar is alongside him in red and yellow stripes. Mighty Mo Missouri, the red jacket and white sleeves, just in behind the leaders. Metamorphosis is next in the orange and blue check jacket. And then comes McTeague as they come on towards the third flight of hurdles. Right in behind those, Sir Alan is towards the back of the field with Affadal also as they jump over 3, which they all get over, and Mr. Freedom's towards the back of the field. Shared is also towards the rear with the light blue of McTeague. Running on towards number 4, so already approaching the halfway stage, and it's still maybe just Perseus Way in company with Ludus and Biker, and with those is Samuel Spade and Bad going around the outside in the green colours. Tikau right in behind these from Jazzy Matty as they jump this flight of hurdles. Action Motions in behind the leaders with Gordon's and Feastawar is there as well. Also Risk Bell, she's right in the middle. Takau's lost quite a few places. He was 3rd or 4th early on. He's about 10th at this stage. Affadal is still held up at the back in company with McTeague. Sir Alan is also towards the rear with Shared, as Rachel Blackmore has taken Bad, swinging along into the lead to take it up now. Goes on by a length with 3 more to jump. The white colours of Biker in second place. Samuel Spade behind those. Look out, Jazzy Matty, red and white colours, wide on the course, making progress. Perseus Way is behind these to Ludus, and then Romancero Ledun. Punte de l'Est, the black jackets next to the favourite Takao, the green and yellow hoops with a white cap. In behind those, Action Motion, and they're followed then by Risk Bell and also Sundial. Extreme left is Sir Alan in yellow and purple, trying to make progress from the rear of the field as they come down to 3 from the finish. Bad was the leader. Takao, a terrible error back in the field. Bad is leading to the cheek pieces of Biker. Samuel Spade is still there. The red and white jacket, Jazzy Matty. 1 from the left, Mr. Freedom from the back of the field. Punter de l'Est is there. Risk Bell and also Sundial in with chances as they jump now the second last flight of hurdles. They're on the way to home in the Boodles Juvenile Hurdle. So many here with chances, and it's Biker and Bad together to Jazzy Matty. Morpheus behind these, then Perseus Way. Risk Bell is still there. Sundial has a chance. Then behind these is Sir Alan, but Bad leading as they come down towards the last. Nearest to us then making good progress is Risk Bell. The red and white Jazzy Matty. Biker was there, and as they head up the hill now, it's nearest to us Risk Bell. The white jacket is the Biker. Between those is Jazzy Matty. Any one of this 3 in the centre. Jazzy Matty coming through, might have just got it to Biker, and then nearest to us Risk Bell. Sundial was behind those, and that is the first 4 home.
Jazzy Matty takes the Boodles 18-1, a double on the day for Mikey O'Sullivan. Gordon Elliott on the board for the first time in the week. Corwell Construction Limited winning owner. Second, Biker 6-1. Third, Risk Bell 10-1. Fourth, going to Sundial 18-1. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Irish. And Jazzy Matty gets the verdict very close to home. He'd been sparingly campaigned, as you would expect, for a race of this kind of nature to preserve his mark. And something of a masterstroke from Gordon Elliott, but not least as well from Mikey O'Sullivan, who produced him in exactly the right time. We didn't know the depth of his ability, horse and jockey, to be honest. Mikey O'Sullivan having an unbelievable first day of Cheltenham. The final race of day 1, the Welshard National Hunt Challenge Cup Amateur Jockeys Novices Chase, a Grade 2 over 3 miles and 6 furlongs. Gaillard de Meny was one of the bankers of the festival, for many odds on to make it happen.
Starting in the middle of the course here, they're off. Racing then with 23 fences to jump for the longest race of the meeting. Off to the right there, the maroon and Mr. Coffee is chased along a few strides as they get going, but he's keenly up there now with Fakira as they come to the first then of these 23 fences. The very pale jacket of Marlon Mission is with those as well as they begin a little bit of a run now before they get to 2, 3, 4 and 5, which are all down the home straight. Minella Crooner, that's the white sash on the black jacket, and the black and red of Bellatrix are the one mare in the lineup, the next couple of runners. Then 2 in stripes. Red and white stripes is Cool Valor, who's won that Best Turned Out award, just ahead of the maroon and white stripes of Tenzing. With those is Malinello, yellow and purple jacket. You come down to number 2. Yellow sleeves of Galliard de Mainil, the grey favourite, the rear of the field as they jump the second. And just behind him is Chemical Energy, a chestnut in the red and white colours. Moving them on towards the third fence and coming over it, all over it okay. Within the centre there, the blue and green colours of Fakira. Off towards the left is Bellatrixa. They just moved ahead now of Mr. Coffee, who's about a length behind them in third place. Right in behind those is Marla Mission. Minella Crooner comes next. He's in the centre in the black and white colours. And then comes Malinello, the purple sleeves towards the left. Cool Valor and Tenzing, both in stripes, both racing together. Just a length behind those is Galliard de Mainil, and Chemical Energy is behind those. The fifth fence then, the final one down the straight, all over that okay. There's about 10 lengths first to last. And they have 2 more circuits now as they make their way to the next fence, which is going to be number 6, taking on the run away to the far side of the course. So Fakira, a blue and green jacket, about a neck ahead. The mare, Bellatrixa, running in second position now as they jump over number 6. A little low maybe at that was Minella Crooner, racing company with Marla Mission in the light blue. They're together around the outside of the maroon colours of Mr. Coffee as they make their way on towards the far side then. Malinello is behind those, and then comes Tenzing and Cool Valor together. Chemical Energy in company with Galliard de Mainil at the rear, and they take that and they head now towards the water jump for the first time. They'll jump it twice. This time number 8, next time round going to be 17. A well-bunched field in this Well-Child National Hunt Challenge Cup. At the water jump, and just now the back marker is the favourite, Galliard de Mainil, as they continue their run onto the far side. First of the open ditches coming up, number 9. So the blue and green jacket of Fakira, the black and red of Bellatrixa, they're over that together. They approach another plain fence, very pale jacket, light blue and yellow for Marla Mission, who's right in the centre. The black and white is Minella Crooner as they come to this plain fence. With those is Mr. Coffee and the maroon jacket. Wider of those, the purple sleeves, Malinello. They're coming now to number 11. This is the second one of the open ditches. Chemical Energy, Cool Valor and Tenzing racing in line. And then behind those, about a length, maybe length and a half, to Galliard de Mainil, taking his time at the rear of the field. And they all pop over 11 safely. And now right at the top of the hill, left-handed, and they'll begin the run back on towards home. Number 12, a plain fence on the side of the course, will be next, with now Fakira and Derek Laverty establishing just a very slender lead, only a neck or so, over Lucy Turner on Bellatrixa running in second. These are about a length and a half ahead then of Derek O'Connor on Mr. Coffee right against the running rail. Barry O'Neill, Minella Crooner with him. And the extreme left is Malinello, yellow and purple jacket for Gina Andrews, as they now then approach this next plain fence, which is number 12, back on their way towards the home straight. Behind those, a striped jacket, maroon and white stripes for Noel McParlin on Tenzing. Racing up round the outside, losing a few places now is Mr. Coffee. He's dropped from being second or third early on to being 2 or 3 from the back of the field, but that said, he's only going to be 5 lengths at most behind the leaders. Still Galliard de Mainil, the yellow and black checks, is held up, is towards the rear of the field. With him in the red and white stripes is Cool Valor towards the running rail, also in red and white, but slightly wider of them. Ahead of them is Chemical Energy at the first in the straight this time. Or take that, number 14 coming up, and this will be the last fence in a circuit's time. Getting over it, Bellatrix, who was just the leader. Little awkward was Fakira, the blue and green jacket, who had been the leader at one stage, is now disputing third position with Malinello as they run on to 15. Galliard de Mainil continues to be towards the back. He's moved up one place. Chemical Energy is behind him. Running then at the next plain fence, the 15th, and it's just Bellatrixa, the black and red, over that to the light blue of Marla Mission as they make their way again onto the far side. Fakira, Mr. Coffee and Minello Crooner right in behind those to Malinello, and then comes Tenzing. Galliard de Mainil is just in behind Cool Valor. Chemical Energy is with them, so they're well bunched. All have got a chance here as they take this next plain fence, and down there is 6 Malinello. Number 6 Malinello goes at the 16th. The 17th coming up is the water jump, and now it is Marla Mission in the pale jacket, the light blues, jump through to a length advantage over that. Mr. Coffee back on the way through the field, going through into second place with Bellatrixer and Minello Crooner. This is the 18th, the third of the ditches. Galliard de Mainil is beginning to make some progress. The yellow and black checks at the rear there. Fakiro is a slow, untidy leap. Cool Valor's a little bit detached as well from the other runners. Chemical Energy in red and white going wide as they take this next plain fence, although he's a little bit awkward jumping it. And now Marla Mission is approaching the final open ditch, which is 4 from the finish with a 2 or 3 length lead. Mr. Coffee is in second. Tenzing in stripes, maroon and white, trying to get closer. Bellatrixer is still there as they take this final one of the open ditches. Galliard de Mainil, the yellow sleeves, what is going to be 6th or so at the moment. Chemical Energy, red and white, a little wide, is making progress. They have 3 to jump from here. And Marla Mission will turn left-handed and head downhill at the rear. Fakir has been pulled up and he's kicked on. He's gone on by 6 or 7 lengths now. Mr. Coffee is in second position. Chemical Energy, Bellatrixer, Tenzing of the next wave in third, fourth and fifth. Galliard de Mainil, the yellow sleeves, behind those. But Marla Mission comes towards the third last, pops over it with a commanding advantage. Mr. Coffee was in second. Bellatrixer's a faller there. Chemical Energy and Tenzing third and fourth. Galliard de Mainil is ridden along in fifth position. They head then to the final turn and the final 2 fences now. It's about a 7-8 length advantage for Marla Mission, with Mr. Coffee in second position. Chemical Energy now taking second. Galliard de Mainil has moved into third. Can Chemical Energy get to Marla Mission, who goes at the second last? 5 Marla Mission, a faller there. Chemical Energy is left in front to the favourite Galliard de Mainil, who's 3 lengths behind him. Over the final fence, he's only 2 lengths ahead now. In red, Chemical Energy. The yellow sleeves, Galliard de Mainil, coming through to challenge as they race up, and he's finishing the stronger. Galliard de Mainil, a third run at the festival. This is his victory. Chemical Energy being second, Mr. Coffee behind those in third place. Tenzing will be home in fourth, and there will be only 4 finishers.
Gaillard de Mainil takes the National Hunt Challenge Cup, 11-10 on favourite for Patrick Mullins, Willie Mullins and Mrs. Joe Donnelly. Second, Chemical Energy, 8-1. Third, Mr. Coffee, 11-1. Marla Mission was in the lead when coming down. Thankfully, he got up unscathed, and he will come back and fight another day. But that left the race open, and Chemical Energy, who'd been held up just like Gaillard de Mainil, struck first under Jamie Codd. However, Gaillard de Mainil, who did have question marks to some extent over his stamina, has disproven that in a massive way. He was just getting going near the end of the line. He ran a great trial in the Ladbrokes Novices Chase over 2 miles and 5 furlongs, up 1 mile and a furlong. He's crowned his achievement. A lovely performance.
Patrick Mullins is with me. We both said never in doubt at the same time. Take me through approaching 3 out.
Well, look, going out in the race, I said to myself, I've got the fastest horse in the race. My worry was that we'd ran twice over 2.5 miles from the front. So I wanted to drop him out, get him settled. He was quite high over the white fences early on. I don't know if you could see that from stands, but he was just giving them a lot of air. Yeah. And I just said to myself, I want to keep him settled, keep him relaxed. And of course, then when we've turned down the hill and I've come out, Jamie's gone up my outside. I pulled back to come around him rather than being stuck on his inside, and I looked up and seen Marla Mission clear. But to me, we'd gone quick, and my thought was the cows and the cabbage, they were going to have to try catch him by the finish line rather than catching him by the second last. And And look, it worked out. It's great when it works out.
Well, it does. Did you think there was a chance Mile and Mission had gone for all, as you say, you'd gone pretty quick, or no?
In the back of my head, like, we'd gone quick the first mile, and the ground was very testing today. It's 3 miles 6. I had to believe he was going to come back, and I was more worried about Jamie. Jamie was 5 or 6 lengths ahead of me. I was thinking he was the one I'm going to try have to beat, but he missed the last, and that just gave me the advantage.
He fought on up that hill, your horse, didn't he?
He did. He's very tough. He gives, and I know people saying he hasn't won a lot, but he's running in grade 1s, and he is the grade 1 horse, but at the lower level, if that makes sense.
In those white fences you mentioned, he was quite high at a few of them. Would he have been over them at home? Do you have anything at home that are white?
We'd schooled him over fence at home, and he was quite high over them. Like, I wanted a horse in this big race, you want them popping. Yeah. You don't want them expending all that big energy. But after the first lap, he got lower, but it was great.
Top stuff, well done, Patrick.
Great, thanks so much.
It promised so much, and day one at the Cheltenham Festival delivered in spades exactly what the community needed. Performances of the highest echelon. Marine Nationale in the Supreme, El Fabiolo in the Arkle doing the Dublin Racing Festival Arkle double, Corach Rambler back-to-back in the Ultima, Constitution Hill simply imperious in the Unibet Champion Hurdle, Honeysuckle bowing out on a tremendous career with a second Mares Hurdle victory, Jazzy Matty scoring in the Boodles, and Gare de Moni providing punters with something to smile about at the end of day one. Soft ground the order of day one, and while jockeys reported it to not quite as be testing as they previously thought, it was testing ground all over. El Fabiolo was the quickest furlong per furlong, 0.20 in the Arkle. Well, there's a sight I think many wouldn't have predicted. At the end of day one of the Cheltenham Festival, Mikey O'Sullivan at the top of the jockeys' table, courtesy of Marine Nationale in the Supreme and Jazzy Matty springing a surprise at 18-1 in the Boodles. Leading trainer, well, it was a double on day one for Willie Mullins, striking with El Fabiolo and Gare de Moni in the last race. Gordon Elliott got on the scoreboard late with Jazzy Matty, Nicky Henderson just in behind there as well, courtesy of Constitution Hill and a couple of placed horses. The Prestbury Cup, well, it's a familiar sight at this stage. Ireland running riot on day one. 5 of the 7 races going to the Irish. Great Britain languishing behind on 2 wins.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.